Alright, let's get this out of the way. Solar Opposites is a Justin Roiland show that used to star Justin Roiland before that happened. Apparently the case was dismissed, but he's still a creep or something. Dude, I don't care. I just want to watch the gay alien show that has a slug help an elderly woman remember her mother's face in exchange for batteries.
And a Harry Potter whistle.
So, can we just not? The show moved on, most of the internet did. This show is funny, you should watch it. Okay, now that we got the obligatory Justin Roiland rant out of the way, let's talk Solar Opposites, because while it might seem just like Rick and Morty light, there's actually a lot more to it. Originally planned as a Fox show, it was shelved until Hulu came along and said, a new Justin Roiland show, what could go wrong? To be fair, this was 2018, meaning Rick and Morty was effectively dominating the planet. Season 3 had just wrapped up the year prior, and that gave us Pickle Rick, the two highest episodes of the entire series, and literal mobs of people rioting over a Disney movie tie-in dipping sauce. Seeing that level of marketing, good or bad, would have made any studio interested. And so it was greenlit, and 2 years later we got our first taste of not Rick and Morty. Solar Opposites is the story of 4 aliens, Terry and Corvo, and their basically children, Yumulak and Jesse, coming to Earth with their weird pet slug thing called a pupa to terraform it into a new planet after their old one perished. Now, being from the same people, having the same sci-fi aesthetic, and having characters look like they're pulled right from the same universe might give you the idea that this is to Rick and Morty what Cleveland Show was to Family Guy. A watered-down spin-off cobbled together out of rehashed leftovers. The Wish.com Rick and Morty, if you will. What it actually is closer to what American Dad is to Family Guy, being set in a similar world but being very different in terms of humor and tone. Where Rick and Morty focuses on more existential or even nihilistic versions of pre-existing stories, Solar Opposites ask, what if 2 aliens didn't know shit about man caves and ended up making a robot mom-wife thing just to be mad about them being in the man cave? The answer is a homicidal lady bot that murders half the male population to a Katy Perry song. This was the gender equality episode. And really, that's the entire show in a nutshell. It's a true sitcom about aliens trying to fit in on Earth. There's no deeper messages, no philosophical debates, no ethical questions about what anyone's doing. Hell, they flat out dropped this line early on.
Do you feel like maybe we're the bad people in all this?
We're aliens. Our ways are mysterious. We can't be judged by human standards. Now let's get out of here before we get arrested for all this shit.
Is that the children's hospital? Man, you don't really think of them blowing up like that.
Did I say early on? I meant literally episode 1. There is no pretending with this show. It knows exactly what it is and revels in it. So much so that you can watch any of these characters for 30 seconds and immediately get them. Responsible adult, super fun adult. Try hard teen, Mabel but green. To be fair, that does come with some drawbacks. Not to say you can't be fully entertained by a show trying to be funny for 30 minutes, but as good as early SpongeBob is, you're not going to make an emotional connection with Krusty Krab pizza. Solar Opposites is the same. There can be emotional moments, but they're literally 10 seconds long and are usually just the characters making up after a fight. Short, sweet.
Nice.
Oh right, and there's also an entire second show in the show that has fuck all to do with the main plot, but is actually a fairly decent drama on its own. It's kind of like they took all the suspense that wouldn't fit in the main show and just dumped it in its own corner. So much so that it literally counts as a separate section in the Wikipedia. With that said, it pops right the hell out of nowhere, and part of the fun is not seeing it coming at all, so I'm gonna hope my editor is filling this space with some random bullshit of his choice to simulate that before we head to wrap up. Cool?
비캡슐 5회사의 팽택지감 공립 발전 위력 광진.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Cool. Solar Opposites is not what I consider an all-time classic, but it is good. There's no super memorable lines or real show-stopping moments, except that one thing I mentioned, but it is a perfectly serviceable show that is really fun to binge and that I'm really hoping is not following the trend of having something fucking horrible happen to it right after I talk about it. Seriously, have you noticed that? Every single time. Please, streaming services, I'm running out of adult cartoons. Just let this ride out, or at least give us a show similar to something like BoJack.
Well, aren't we a tall glass of water?
You know what? Fine, I'll take it.